Hello, my name is Yejun Ho. I'm a medical student in the University of Calgary, and our team is here to explain a rare disease called Renal Coloboma Syndrome as a connection between ophthalmology and nephrology. The kidneys play an integral role in maintaining fluid levels and blood osmolarity in the body. It also prevents toxic accumulations, and all of these functions by the kidney to regulate healthy homeostasis in the blood is crucial for the well-being of certain end organs, especially those where microvasculature and fine sensations are involved. The eyes, with the retina and light-sensitive structures, and microvasculature is one of the organs that rely heavily on kidneys' function of filtering the blood. Therefore, insufficient kidney functions can cause fluid to slowly accumulate in the eyes, along with all the other toxins in the blood. So renal coloboma syndrome is a papillorenal syndrome, and it is transmitted in an autosomal dominant fashion. Papillorenal explains exactly the goal of this presentation, which means it is a condition that primarily affects the kidneys and the eye development. People with the condition typically have hypoplastic kidneys and some pathologies in the eyes. In this case, renal coloboma syndrome is characterized by renal hypoplasia, smaller size of the kidneys, and coloboma of the optic nerve. Coloboma means missing of normal tissue. This syndrome is congenital and is associated with the PAX2 gene mutation. This gene encodes a transcription factor for development of the kidneys and the eyes. It is located on the chromosome 10 on the Q-arm 24 to 25 locus, and we'll explore this more in the pathophysiology section. This is the anatomy of the optic nerve. As you can see, the optic nerve takes in visual information from the retina. The eye is globe-shaped, so the light entering from the peripheral visual field hits the nasal part of the retina, and the nasal part of the retina meets the optic nerve, and when that optic nerve exits, they always cross over at the optic chiasm that you can see in the center of the path. In contrast, optic nerve from the peripheral retina do not cross over and stay in the ipsilateral side of the brain as it travels all the way to the back. Therefore, post-optic chiasmic optic nerve is each composed of the portions of optic nerve from each eye. These optic tracts trace toward the back of the brain, going through the Meyer's loop, and finally stopping at corresponding areas of the occipital lobe. Let's delve into the pathophysiology of renal coloboma syndrome a little more. Due to mutations of the PAX2 gene, the transcription factor that is necessary for appropriate development of the kidneys and the eyes is not produced. From an embryological standpoint, the kidneys and the eyes are similar in location and the ways of development. This results in dysplasia of the optic disc and the abnormally smaller size of the kidneys. The PAX2 proteins that are encoded by the PAX2 gene is thought to protect the cells against apoptosis when there is cellular stress. So, when the PAX2 protein has been mutated from the mutated gene, It's natural that some of the normal tissues are missing and the size of the organs are small because the cells will be exposed to random stimulation of apoptosis with the stressing environment. The PAX2 mutations are only identified in 50% of the renal coloboma cases, and in other cases, the cause of this is unknown. Family history of renal hypoplasia and renal coloboma syndrome is a major risk factor of this disease, and around 10% of children with hypoplastic kidneys are estimated to have renal coloboma syndrome.